So nice to be here today, and sorry for delivering this in English, not in French. I hope everyone can follow okay, and if you have any questions, of course, at the end I'll be here. So I'm here from World Benchmarking Alliance. I lead engagement in the nature team. I've actually just got back from COP16 a couple of days ago, so I'm still kind of in Colombian time zone. So yeah, really nice to be here today and talk about our work. So for those that aren't familiar with WBA, we are a non-profit, we're an NGO, and our overarching aim as an organisation is to really drive corporate accountability through free and publicly available benchmarks. So I'm going to focus mainly on our nature work today, but just to kind of show you here in this wheel, we work across various areas that we see as key to kind of achieving the sustainability goals. So here you can see digital, nature and biodiversity, food and agriculture, decarbonisation and energy, so our climate team, urban, and then kind of social in the middle. As kind of all companies we look at, we also look at from the social lens, and then kind of from the outside you can see financial system. So our benchmarks are open source, so any of you can access and kind of any stakeholders can access our benchmarks. They are free and publicly available, and they're kind of used by a variety of different stakeholders. We really try to kind of recognize leadership and embed in corporate accountability. And we also work with an alliance. So the key is kind of in the name of World Benchmarking Alliance, but we have an alliance of around 400 organizations, which includes many investors and kind of financial institutions. So we engage with financial actors. I won't focus on this for too long today, as I really want to talk about the nature work, but investors use our benchmarks in different ways. So we kind of, for investment research and capital allocation, for active ownership, so using the benchmark findings as tools in active ownership activities, for knowledge sharing and market shaping and signalling. So yeah, really want to talk mostly about the nature benchmark today, which of course, because we're here to talk about biodiversity and nature. So the nature benchmark has been going for over 2 years now. We're at our third iteration. And as it stands, we have benchmarked 750 companies from about over 12 industries, but just to list a few of them here. So we work in a sector agnostic way. So we don't just look at one sector, we kind of work across different sectors that have been identified as having a very kind of high impact on nature. So the kind of aim of our benchmarks is not to recreate a way of doing things, and our benchmark is a kind of synthesis of many existing tools and frameworks which you may be familiar with, such as the TNFD. So many of the indicators are directly aligned with TNFD's LEAP framework, WBCSD, WWF, GRI. These are some of the organizations that are on our expert review committee. So they really helped us shape the benchmark, and we brought in kind of existing tools and frameworks to really kind of be able to, sort of be responsive to what is already happening. We've actually recently relaunched our methodology. So this does look quite content heavy. Again, I'll be here after. So if anyone has any questions around specifically what we benchmark or how, I'm happy to kind of connect with you. And also we have a really knowledgeable team of analysts that work on the kind of technical side. So as you can see, we look at these kind of 12 topics here. And then we have the kind of sub-themes of biodiversity or leadership, planet and people. So that's kind of, leadership is really looking at kind of how businesses are embedding sustainability into their kind of from the top. So looking at things like impact materiality and strategy, sustainability strategy, implementation and accountability for this strategy. And then we kind of go all the way through looking at the kind of key realms of biodiversity. So biodiversity, atmosphere, freshwater, and circularity. And then we also look at people. And I think that's, a lot of the feedback we get from kind of, organizations that we work with and that use our benchmarks is that they really like that we have the people lens as well. So within that, we look at kind of how corporates are respecting the right to a sustainable environment, respecting indigenous people's rights and land rights, and also meaningfully engaging with stakeholders. We also have, I mentioned how we look at social. We also have 18 core social indicators, and essentially we kind of, when we benchmark companies on these, we send them an assessment. So we send them an initial, scorecard, if you like, of this is how we have assessed you on all of these topics. And then the companies are given a period to respond, before it's made public, and maybe provide extra information. So we really engage with the companies to try and improve their score. Scorecards, we produce these scorecards, and that's what yourselves can kind of find online. We have a public ranking, so we kind of you could maybe go and filter, if you were interested, let's say, in how are companies in France performing on the topic of indigenous people's rights. You can literally filter online using our public benchmarks to country, region, topic. So you can kind of go really focused with the kind of level of information. Once we benchmark these companies and we produce these public rankings, we don't stop our work there. We then also engage with the companies on the results, and kind of that's where, I guess, for me, the work starts, because I work on the, less the research side and the engagement side. So we kind of really work to embed our findings in, policy and the UN system. We also convene company communities of practice. So at the moment, we're actually, that's where we bring companies together. And we're actually working on this at the moment with apparel companies. So we kind of do like different sector focuses to really have that safe space to work with the companies. And we also are convening a investor engagement initiative at the moment, where we bring together global investors to work kind of with other stakeholders, multi-stakeholders, to really drive targeted engagement with the companies. So I think the Collective Impact Coalition might be particularly interesting to the people in the room, given the kind of work in the financial system. So if anyone would like to connect on that further, also, would love to chat. But in the interest of keeping it brief today, I'll wrap up there. So yeah, thank you. And if you have any questions, I'll speak to you after.
Thank you very much.